I don't normally teach with a microphone, so it's gonna take me a minute to get used to this.
Plenty of room.
Thanks. Wow, look at all these people. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me here. This has been so exciting. I'm a little nervous. There's a few more people here than I normally have in my classroom. It's like 5 more people here. Thank you to the Cuvée Coffee, Cuvée Coffee, thank you. We had tacos too. Did you guys get tacos? Good, okay. So everything that Ben said when he introduced me, that's pretty much my whole speech. So we have like 19 minutes for questions. Thank you to R2D2 for being here. This guy knows my struggle when I go to buy clothing. He knows. That's me. I'm Chris Locke. My brand is Heartless Machine. I'm going to talk to you about that in a few minutes. But I'm also an art teacher in a middle school, which means I get paid to hand out magic markers and make fart jokes. So that's me. Ooh, that slide is great. Isn't that a great slide? I feel like this lighting, it makes me look like the devil. That says so weird. So I know a lot of weird stuff. I see weird stuff. I think about weird stuff, and I got some weird stuff for you guys to hear about today. I made some slides. They're real wide, and now the screen is not. So there's a dolphin over there, albino dolphin. When you are asleep, this is really weird. When you're asleep, you see weird things like this, things that are impossible. They happen in your mind, and that's okay, right? What's that called? Dreaming. That's called dreaming. And you see weird, impossible things in your head, and it's dreaming. And then when you're awake, and you see weird, impossible things in your head, you're crazy. Isn't that weird? That's weird. Like if your eyes are closed and you see weird things, that's okay. What do you see? Zebras. You see zebras. They're hugging. It's okay. But you know what's weird? If you look closely, they're not zebras. You see white stripes. That's it. There's no separation between the black stripe and the background. Your brain fills that information in. Your brain is weird because you look at this and you see zebras, but it's just the white stripes on the black background. And your brain makes this a separate shape when really this is a shape and this is a shape, right? Also, you know what's weird is zebras with tails like that. Look at that tail. I have never seen a zebra with a tail like that. I don't know. So we're going to do a drawing exercise. This is something I do in my classroom. Hopefully you came with a sketchbook, a notebook, something like that. I brought 88 little tiny clipboards with pieces of paper. If you don't have a sketchbook, hopefully you've got one of those little boards. We're going to do a drawing exercise, and it's going to look like this. Don't draw it yet. No, you guys are really eager. Don't draw. So when you draw, and it's okay if you haven't drawn in a long time. Some of you guys are drawing every day because you guys are creative. Some of you guys quit drawing in middle school. That's okay. Don't be scared. There's no grading on this. Everybody gets an A just for being here. When you draw, you look at something. You look at this, and you kind of memorize a little section of it. You'll look at this, and you go, okay, I know what that looks like. As soon as you stop looking at that and start looking at your paper, you're drawing from memory. And we know from that zebra picture that your brain is unreliable. So if you're really going to draw something from observation and not from memory, you need to look at this while you're drawing and not look at your paper. So we're going to draw while we look at this, and you are not allowed to look at your paper. It's going to mess up your brain. But your brain messes with you all the time. So this is your chance to get some revenge on that brain. So you're going to start up here. Don't do it yet. Yeah, come on. Start up here, and as your eye moves around this curve, I want your pencil to also move in that direction. And then you're going to go around this, and your pencil's going to change direction. When you get here, I want you to imagine that you're an ant, and you're walking along this. If you're not into ants, it could be a spider. If you're afraid of spiders, I am a tiny cheetah on a dirt bike, and I'm riding up this thing. How far do I have to go before I change direction? Your eye should go slowly around this curve, and as your eye goes around the curve, your pencil goes around the curve. Everybody got it? Okay, we're going to do that. On your mark, get set. Don't look at your paper. Okay, go. Go very slowly around this curve, and you're going to change direction. And then you're going around this curve. Don't look at your paper. You're doing amazing things to your brain right now. You're making a bond between your eyeball and that pencil. You're doing wonderful things, Terry. Don't look at your paper. Cheating. Okay, stop. Look at your paper. That's fun, right? It's fun. Imagine doing this with a room full of sweaty 12-year-olds. I get paid to do this, you guys. I get paid a lot of, like people say, oh, teachers don't make enough money. It's true. I should get paid a lot more than I do get paid for dealing with what I have to deal with. But when you think about the fact that I get paid to do what I'm doing right now, it's a lot of money. So here's something weird. Will you see a really attractive person in the classic sense? And you look at somebody and you go, wow, that person, so pretty, like a panda. And when they don't take themselves too seriously. This is a thing online. This is called Pretty Girl, Ugly Face. It's actually a thing. Hashtag PGUF, Pretty Girl, Ugly Face. It's a thing. There's a Reddit thing for it, all the subreddit or whatever. This is when somebody who, they obviously think that they're really attractive and they take a picture of themselves and then they make the most disgusting, revolting face they can and they take another picture and they post them side by side. And you go, oh, thank you. Now I feel better about myself because this is what I look like, right? Speaking of how we look, thank you everybody for, I see that you are all dressed up for the theme this week, this month. Thank you. You guys got your weird costumes on. I appreciate that. So what we're going to do now that you've warmed up with this, now you're going to draw this. And if I do this with like 12-year-olds, then you guys can do it too. Don't be scared. You're going to draw this face without looking at your paper. So flip your paper over if you need to. Turn your page. You're going to do this. It's going to be great. You guys are doing so good. You can start wherever you want. I like to start kind of in this area because, I'm an English speaker, English reader, and we start at this side of the page and we go this way and then down. But, if you want to start somewhere else, you can. I like to start up here. So don't look at your paper. On your mark, get set. Don't forget, as your eye moves, tiny, tiny cheetah on a dirt bike. Okay, go. You're strengthening your brain. Go slow. There's no prize for finishing first. I saw you looking at your paper. You're not doing good things for your brain right now. Okay, stop. Look at your paper. So that's fun, right? Do you feel weird yet? I know I have some big shoes to fill. Ben was showing all this weird stuff that's going on everywhere in the world, and I'm standing at the back going, oh my God, I'm not nearly that weird. I am that weird, but I'm not going to stand here in front of all of you people and be that weird. But I think this is a fun way for all of us to be a little weird. And if you have not drawn in a long time, this is a good way to get back into it. If you have been drawing for a long time, this is a really good way to strengthen those skills. I teach this in my class. I firmly believe that this is good for your brain, and you're drawing from direct observation. It's really good for you. Keep doing it. So this isn't actually me when I was 10. I was way fatter than this, but this is my slide for 10-year-old me. When I was 10 years old, people start asking you, oh, little boy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you go, let me out of the van. And so my mom had this friend. He's like 50, right? It was my mom's friend's boyfriend or whatever, and like 50 years old is a little old to have a boyfriend, but you know, she's like, oh, this is my boyfriend. And the guy's like, so little boy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I don't know. What do you want to be when you grow up? He's like 50, and I just asked him, what are you going to do with your life? He looked like this. He was mad. But I think about that all the time. I think about asking a 10-year-old, what are you going to do with your life? They're 10. Fruity Pebbles, cartoons. You know, nap time. That's what I'm into at 10 years old. And so this is me at 13, except I was way fatter than this kid. At 13 years old, this is weird. We ask kids, what are you going to do with your life at 13? How many people in here, raise your hand if you would let a 13-year-old make all of your life decisions right now? Go ask a 13-year-old, what should I do for a living? And let them tell you, oh, quit your job and go play video games for the rest of your life. Like, are you going to do that? Are you going to let a 13-year-old decide who you are right now? Probably not. But somebody, when you were 13, they asked 13-year-old you, what are you going to do with your life? I wouldn't trust 13-year-old me. If 13-year-old me was standing, well, this is actually pretty accurate. Hey, little boy. If 13-year-old me were here, he would think teachers are scum of the earth, and I am a teacher. I have little brothers and sisters. They hate teachers. And they get on Facebook and Instagram. They're like, oh, I hate my teacher. Teachers are such buttholes. And I go, I'm a teacher. You hate me? That's kind of true. I don't know. If 13-year-old me was here right now, he'd say, ooh, you're a teacher? That's a perfect disguise. Here's what you should do. Go into the library and poop. They'll never suspect you. And so we ask 13-year-olds to decide what you're going to do with your life. I think that's weird. It's really weird. And so we tell kids, you can be anything you want. We've all heard that. You can be anything. You can be anything. You can be an astronaut. We tell kids you could be one of 12 people on the entire planet, one of 12, I looked it up, who get in a little pod and they fly 420,000 miles into the emptiness of space and land on a rock that's smaller than Asia, that's flying through space. And you get out of the little pod and you walk around and you play a little golf and you plant a flag. 12 people on Earth have flown to the moon and gotten out and walked around and gotten back, not all at the same time. That would be awesome. They get back in the pod and they go 420,000 miles back to the Earth, which when you think about the vastness of space and the fact that the Earth is not in the same place as it was when they left it, I can't find my car in the Walmart parking lot. Imagine going 420,000 miles to your car and then it's not where you left it. We tell kids, if you want to do it, you can be an astronaut. If you want to do it, you can be president. You can do anything you want. Anything. And I go, I want to be an artist. And they go, oh, no. You can't do that. Isn't that weird? You can do, oh. Well, you can do this. You should do this. I don't know if you guys know this, but the size of your nostrils is directly proportional to the size of your fingers. Any young ladies in the audience, you probably want to start using your pinky. I know somebody that uses their thumb like this, enormous nostrils. Don't do it. We tell kids, you can do this with your life. You could be that guy. You could be that guy. But you can't be a poet. And I think that's weird. So, that's a really good way for me to waste like $100,000 because I listened to people and they said, you can't be an artist, and I went to college for not art. And I should have just done this. I wasted so much of my life. It's not just money, it's time. I wasted my life being something that I didn't want to be. I wasted so much money trying to be other than what I knew I was. And I got tired of it, and eventually I went back to school. I got a degree in unsupervised doodling. I graduated. I started heartlessmachine.com. This is my website. These are drawings that I did. These are self-portraits. They're actually bigger than this in real life. They're 18 by 24. They're hanging in my hallway because nobody wants them. I scrape my elbow on this corner right here every time I go down the hallway. So, but I drew these at the school so that I could show the kids, you know, what hard work and dedication will do for you. And I think that drawing is all about hard work and dedication. A lot of people think, this is weird. People think that you're born with the ability to draw. They go, oh, I can't draw. I don't have that. They say it's a talent. It's not a talent. It's a skill. You know, Michelangelo went to live with another artist when he was a teenager, and he learned how to make art. Back then it was a skill, it was a trade. You know, you trained for it. And now people go, oh, like you're born with that. No, you're not. Babies are awful at drawing. They can't draw. You have to practice. It's like anything else. Like, you're not born with the ability to speak Russian. You go to Russia, you have to be around a lot of Russian people and ask for things in Russian. That's how you learn how to speak Russian, right? We're not all here in America like just happen to be born with the ability to speak English. Art is the same. So I started this website. I started in like 2005. I've had millions of hits on my website. I've sold thousands of things. I've been in magazines and books. I know you guys have never heard of me. That's okay. There's a lot of magazines out there. I'm not done reading them. Ripley's Believe It or Not bought 6 of my sculptures and put them in their museums. I'm in a Ripley's Believe It or Not book, which is really cool. The library at my school had one, and when the kids figured out that I was in that book, they went in there and opened up that book all the time, and the book fell apart. So I bought a new copy of it for the library, put it in there, like took the shredded one back to my classroom. But you know, I feel like I've been pretty successful as an artist, and I've done book covers. You know, people email me and they say, hey, we like this piece of art that you did. Can we put it on the cover of our book? What's your licensing fee? And I say, well, I sell the work. I don't sell the pictures of the work. So put it on the book. I don't care, whatever. And this is my first book. I have a few copies to sell to you when we leave here if you want. You know, it's crass for me to stand up and say, buy my stuff. But that's how I make money, so buy my stuff. I have some leftover copies of this. This was a Kickstarter that I did right at the end of my first year teaching. I took all of the warm-ups that I gave my kids all year long, and I put them all in a book. And I put it on Kickstarter, and I raised $42,000 in 1 month for this book. And I mean, I can't believe people pay me for this. It's so absurd. But this is a half a drawing. So we've got like the land here and a cabin and all this sky. The point of this drawing is you decide what's in the sky. You decide what's underground. You draw it in. And so I give my kids these half drawings and let them fill them in. It's a really good way to get back into drawing because the blank page is so scary. And then this is a coloring book for adults, 99 Ways to Die. Somebody dies on every page, guaranteed. This actually was considered by Urban Outfitters a few years ago to put in their stores, and they decided adult coloring books wasn't a thing. So I was ahead of the curve on that one. Then this was a summertime thing, the doo-doo book. It's a little cut off over there. It's the doo-doo book. It's 24 pages of fun and activities and coloring, and it's all about poop. You probably want to get a couple of brown crayons for that book. It's on Amazon. It's dirt cheap. Buy it. Every time somebody buys one of these, Amazon gives me money. I can't believe it. I also have some of these out in the lobby, unless somebody went out there to like go to the bathroom while I was talking. They're like, this is boring, I'm gonna go poo, and they went out there and stole them, then I don't have any. But if they're still out there when I get out there, I'm happy to sell them to you. They're limited edition, they're numbered, they're signed. These are 270 portraits drawn on Post-it notes. And I did this during the school year to show the kids what dedication to a large project looks like. And so every weekend I'd go home and I would do some drawings, and I come in on Monday and they're like, what did you do? What did you do? And I have to show them the drawings. So these are actual size. They're all Post-it notes, and I mailed the drawings back to the people who sent me pictures to draw. So they all, like 200 people, got these little hand-drawn portraits of their wives and kids. And so I put them all in a book. The book is tiny. It's like this big. It's actual size. And then I got a book deal with a real publisher. So I self-published the first 4 books, and then I got a book deal. It's not called Draw Like This, it's Draw Like This. And I put a lot of the lessons that I use in my classrooms in a book. So if you want to learn how to draw, buy my book. This is the thing that Ripley's bought from me. These are spiders made from confiscated scissors from the airport. I sold a whole lot of these things. I can't believe people want like sharp, deadly, useless. It doesn't make any sense. These are concrete fossils made from extinct technology. These were really popular a few years ago. I sold these in like Germany and France and the Netherlands. There was a bunch of them in a show recently in Israel and in Germany and in the Netherlands all at the same time. These are pretty popular. And this is an amplifier for my iPhone that I made from a busted old horn. I just mailed this one out today, actually. Sold it to a guy in Virginia, Northern Virginia. Talked to a girl earlier today. She's from there you are. She grew up right down the street from me. Or maybe we haven't grown up. I don't know. But they look like this. This is made from an old trumpet and part of a trombone. I stood it up this way. You put your phone in there. The sound goes through the horn. It sounds awesome. As a matter of fact, I've sold hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. And I'm not saying that because like, ooh, I'm awesome. I'm saying that because I'm going to school next week and I'm going to tell kids, you can be an artist. Because I did. And it's weird to tell them that they can't. So I'm going to tell them that they can. If you want to play basketball, you can get paid to do it. If you want to play guitar, people will listen, right? If you want to dance, people will pay to watch you dance. Small bills, large bills, whatever you're in, what kind of dance? It's irrelevant. My bank will deposit moist ones. It's fine. But you can, whatever makes you happy, you can do it. So I think together, we all need to be champions of this. We all need to tell kids, whatever you want to do, you can do it. If you want to bake for a living, people will eat the food that you bake. Stop telling kids that they can't do it, because they can. It's crazy to think that they can't. It's weird. And that's my weird story. Thank you, everybody, for being here.